It's not unusual for a singer-songwriter to perform songs written by others, but it is unusual for an artist to perform an entire album's worth of someone else's material, especially if that someone else is a giant of the music world. But that is exactly what Grammy-winning musician Aoife O'Donovan is doing on her latest tour. Special correspondent Tom Casciato has this story for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
A performance by the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra. That may seem like an unlikely place to come upon a singer-songwriter. But 41-year-old Aoife O'Donovan's original compositions embrace many musical contexts. Her most recent album, 2022's Age of Apathy, was described by Pop Matters as lushly layered and sophisticated, with connections to contemporary jazz and even classical music.
Oh, to be born in the age of apathy, when nothing's got a hold on you. If you need someone to hold, you can hold me.
Yet for all that, it received a Grammy nod in the folk category.
When The Age of Apathy was nominated for Best Folk Album for a Grammy Award, my first thought was, is that a very reductive way to think about what you do?
I think actually it's the opposite. I feel like to call somebody a folk singer is just I think it encompasses so much more than folk as a genre. To me, it means somebody who sings for the people, a bard, a storyteller.
Like most folk singers, she is expert at singing not only her own songs, but other people's as well, which could bring us to her most recent project.
Hello! You guys all know what's happening, right? You know why you're here?
But let's not go there quite yet.
My first instrument was piano. I studied piano at the All Newton Music School with Susan Holmes. She was my first piano teacher.
And who's your teacher?
And I loved playing piano. I wish that I had taken it more seriously at the time. You know, it's always hindsight's 2020. I was like, oh, I wish I had practiced piano more and been a better pianist. But it was a great instrument to start on.
Here she is at 13, a little hard to see but easy to hear, singing Joni Mitchell's Urge for Going.
And I know that record very well, and I noticed when you're singing it as a teenager, at the age when a lot of young players are just trying to imitate, you've got your own phrasing.
And I guess you'll have to go.
You're already like doing your cover of Joni Mitchell's Urge for Going.
I think style has always been really important to me. Artistic style and trying to find a way to emulate without imitating. And of course, I'm sure I've imitated a ton in my life and I still do, but trying to find those things that inspire you and then make them your own, I think is deeply important.
Which does bring us to Aoife O'Donovan's latest project, a tour performing live the entirety of Bruce Springsteen's classic acoustic album, Nebraska. The songs are famously stark, peopled with characters at war with their own souls.
And performing this album in its entirety is very emotionally taxing in a way that is different than doing a set of my own music. You really do have to get into character.
There's the moral compromise of the cop in Highway Patrolman, who won't arrest his own murderous brother. There's the sad determination of the young man in Used Cars, humiliated by his father's position in life. Even the upbeat Open All Night hides a desperation beneath its exuberance. So how does she make these tales by one of music's acknowledged greatest storytellers her own?
One of the things I like the most about being a musician is just that you can communicate in this way and you can kind of set aside whatever fears you may have and insecurities and say, okay, well now I'm going to go into this other part of myself and create these new huge emotions and have these experiences, and then other people are getting to hear that and respond to it. It's really powerful.
Everything dies, baby, that's a fact.
I love this record so much because these songs, to me, feel very timeless. They feel, the characters, those people still exist.
Meet me tonight in Atlantic City.
People are still living hard lives and coming up on hard times and finding reasons to keep on living. And I think that that's what, I don't know, speaks to me so deeply.
Speaking perhaps most deeply on this night at New York's Bowery Ballroom is My Father's House. It's a song in which a man dreams of the comfort his father can provide.
Last night, there was a guy in the front row who, when I started My Father's House, took off his glasses and just proceeded to weep the entire song. Like, I mean, really weeping.
My father's house shines hard and bright.
And it was just so heavy to me.
Stands like a beacon calling me in the night.
And that sort of makes me almost cry.
Calling and calling, calling.
Soon the man awakens to a world where neither comfort nor his father can be found.
From across the dark highway, where our sins lie unatoned.
Telling his story is the work of a folk singer, creating emotion, making someone else's songs her own. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Tom Casciato in New York City.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
She's got a beautiful voice.